I'm Tom Reaney, the host of Jazz on the Mode at New England Public Radio. I've been at New England Public Radio for 33 years. I've been a jazz lover for over 45. Jazz is often likened to a musical gumbo. It began in New Orleans as a new music that absorbed a variety of styles, including ragtime and spirituals, parade music and military marches, waltzes and the blues, and just about anything else that entered the minds of the young musicians creating this new, fresh, and exciting music. Some say jazz has gotten more sophisticated over the years, but at its best, it still uses that early model in finding new ways to draw on old and new roots. I witnessed something analogous to the gumbo pot when I first began to see the wide range of people that jazz attracted, both as players and fans. And it's still doing so today, especially at the annual Springfield Jazz Roots Festival, which attracts people of different colors and identities to downtown Springfield every August. Not surprisingly, there's usually a strong New Orleans feel to the fest, and the musical gumbo still sounds great.
One of the great things about jazz, to me, is that you don't only go there to have a good time, because, and by that what I mean is, so we're having a good time, and then maybe the music will take you to a place that's a little more serious, and it becomes introspective. And then that introspection, to me, it's like having a full 8 or 9 course meal, as opposed to just, man, I got to the dessert and it was delicious, So I think it's a setup, especially if you're spending 90 minutes or 60 minutes of time with a group of musicians. I think it's their responsibility to take you on a journey.
I was just thinking about the time we went to East Berlin back before the wall came down, and how the difference in the appearance of the people, the Germans and the Russians, and how walking in the street looking at people as we were riding, the Germans were mostly dressed in drab colors and no one was smiling. The Russians had on furs and bright colors, and they were big, and the Germans were all like slender. And it was a concert that the government was putting on for some reason, a beginning of Glasnost or something, a part of that. And so the concert was free, for the citizens of the city. So at the concert, both the German citizens and the Russian citizens were there together, enjoying the music and dancing together and having a great time. And it was a New Orleans music show. We had Neville Brothers, Irma Thomas, Johnny Adams, Solomon Burke, to see how the people were mingling and, all smiling and having a good time. And that was one of those great experiences.
We set you up, we're having a good time, you come in, yeah, everybody, you ready to rock it? Yeah, we're gonna have a party tonight. Then we play something nice and bluesy, maybe some Duke Ellington, get folks in the mood. And then as they become more acquainted with us, then we get into the social, political realm. And then it's like, are they gonna go on the journey with us? And they say, okay, we're gonna take that turn with you. And then we're going back to the dirty old, we're having a good time. And everybody's like, ooh, that worked out good. But just the raw emotion that the music is capable of, it brings out things that you didn't really know you had inside of you.
Blues to Green uses the power of music to bring people together and to inspire positive social change. We strive to present music and art events that strengthen communities, foster social responsibility, and embrace environmental stewardship.
I recently got involved with Blues to Green, and one of the reasons why is because I was so connected to the mission of using activities and programs to engage different parts of the community around important issues, environmental issues, but also the connection between how those issues are not just local, that they can be global issues. And I know Kristin's connection to the Bayou area and to New Orleans kind of gave her the idea to start Blues to Green. And I like the idea of connecting environmental issues and other issues together with our own, and using the arts and music and culture to kind of bring people together to make a difference in our community and then globally.
Hurricane Katrina initially motivated the idea for Blues to Green, seeing the underlying tragedies that contributed to the devastation, the poverty, the environmental issues of wetlands loss and climate change all converging in that moment. And it was a wake-up call. And I felt that music, something that is so significant to that place and had such an effect on American life, that that could be a vehicle for bringing greater attention and awareness to those issues and supporting the rebuilding of communities in a more sustainable and equitable way.
Immediately after the storm, you could see musicians trying to get out of the water, and you could see them carrying their instruments like tubas and carrying their dog under their arm and their grandmother on their shoulder, but there was no music. There was the sound of helicopters flying over, the sound of dying burglar alarms and car alarms and smoke detectors, but no music. So that was a sad time in the city, for a city to have, a city built on music, to have absolutely no music at all, none whatsoever. And I think that was the saddest time for me during all of that, was to not hear music, because my whole life I've been hearing music in this city, and it's been spectacular. It has shaped me and made this city what it is, and it has really changed lots of people's lives from all over the world. And my thing is this, that the music, there's a power in the music, and without that power, we're all lost, all of us.
Living in Western Mass, I saw some similar dynamics between Springfield and New Orleans, and felt that music could make a positive difference in the city of Springfield. And I connected with others, particularly Evan Plotkin, who wanted to bring a music festival back to downtown. And it seemed that there was this cultural divide between Springfield and the surrounding area, and that many people from the northern part of the Pioneer Valley were reluctant to go to Springfield.
Springfield has been just kind of pushed down. There's been so many people just, the rhetoric and the dialogue, the narrative out there about Springfield has not been good.
There's so many disconnects with Springfield. There's a geography. We have a city that is cut off from the river, that is divided by a highway, that is also divided in neighborhoods, and then there is the perception about Springfield that makes it that somehow it's an unsafe place to be. Yet Springfield's still the city of homes. This is a city that has a very rich history, not only as an industrial center, but as a source of culture. And somehow with the so-called urban renewal of the 1950s and early 60s, that kind of got lost. And so to find our way back, we need to have not only all the neighborhoods involved, but the different demographics, from tots to the most senior of a population. And, you can't find that too many other places.
Yeah, it seems that the people from different areas don't really know each other. you know, and they fear each other. But having the festival to bring them together and get to see that, you know, hey, we're all cool, we're all digging the music together, and it's making us all feel the same way. I think that's something really special.
The music is not just for the more mature crowd. We also want to get the youth involved because it's their city too. It is the culture that we'll be passing on to them. And it's essential that they get a taste of it, that they're not divorced from it. So it has been a deliberate effort to incorporate the youth element in the programming of Springfield Jazz Roots Festival.
Some of the things that we've done to fulfill our mission in presenting the Springfield Jazz and Roots Festival are that we're presenting free world-class music that's accessible to people of all walks of life and all ages. We're celebrating music that's come out of communities of color and hopefully fostering greater appreciation for those contributions. We're bringing diverse people together as one vibrant community, drawing visitors to the city who help to boost the local economy. We're shifting perceptions people have about Springfield. As we have many families come to the festival, we're introducing jazz and roots music to children, and hopefully that might spark an interest in them to pick up an instrument or engage in the arts in some way, or just, you know, to claim a public voice. We involve various community groups and nonprofits who engage the public with their work and with issues that are of concern to the community. We promote eco-friendly practices and businesses. So we're doing a lot to try to, you know, do good and amplify all that is really positive that's happening in the city, and to do that while having a really good time.
You know, Woodstock kind of tries to say, oh, well, this is about peace and love. Well, you know, it's about music and how that brings that sort of sensibility to people, and it brings community to people. So in Woodstock, which is probably the greatest example of people getting together to hear music and to celebrate music, somehow or another that creates this bond of fellowship that people feel towards one another that is just remarkable. And if you can continue to do that, you start to break down these walls, and I think that's what we did with the Jazz Festival.
It's something intrinsic about music. It's something that you can't really say exactly what it is. Duke Ellington said about love, I can tell you many things that it's not, but I can't tell you exactly what it is. And it's the same thing with music. You know, how do you describe it?
Music is, they don't have any color to music. They don't have any color, they don't have any age. Music don't have no hair, no eyes. Music is music. You know, when you come down, you see music on the paper, 9 times out of 10 is black and white. And the notes are not saying that I'm a girl note or a boy note. It's a note on the paper. And anybody can sit down there, because music is one language. No matter where you go, it's still going to be the same thing.
The common language is music and love. And music is an expression of love.
'Cause you know one of these days,
Jazz and Roots, still building, still growing, still absorbing. Well over a century since its establishment in New Orleans, and connecting people of different colors, of different identities, of different communities in places like Court Square and downtown Springfield. Come on and share it with us this summer, Saturday, August 12th, Court Square, right in the heart of downtown Springfield.